Ever accidentally used a copyrighted image or two? I
Yeah.
know I have. And you get that little jolt of panic like, oh no, am I going to get in trouble for this?
Oh, yeah.
Well, imagine that, but like dialed up to 11 and as a trap.
Yeah.
Today, we're diving into a new phishing scheme called Copyright Rhadamanthys.
Right.
It's going to make you think twice before opening any email about copyright infringement.
Absolutely.
So we're basing this deep dive on some incredible research from Checkpoint Research.
Mm-hmm.
They've been tracking this campaign since July.
Yeah, July 2023.
And already it's hit hundreds of companies across several continents.
At least 4 continents.
That's wild.
It is a pretty big footprint for a relatively new scheme.
Yeah, what makes it so effective?
I think one of the things is that the attackers are constantly changing the email addresses they're using.
Oh, so it's really hard to pin them down.
Yeah, it's hard to track them down. It's a classic tactic.
But it clearly works.
It does.
But it's not just tech, right? They're using psychology too?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This is where it gets really interesting and really kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
What makes this campaign dangerous is that they're playing on a very specific emotion.
Guilt.
Yeah.
They send these emails accusing people of copyright infringement, and they know that a lot of people will feel guilty even if they haven't actually done anything wrong.
Right. We've all probably used an image or two without thinking too hard about the copyright.
Yeah, exactly.
So to get that accusation, it really throws you off balance.
That's exactly what they want. They're relying on that moment of panic.
Yeah.
That split-second decision where you might not be thinking as clearly as you normally would.
You're not in your right mind.
Right, and that's when they spring the trap.
So are they just going after everyone and anyone, or is there a pattern to who they're targeting?
It's interesting you ask that because Checkpoint's research found that nearly 70% of the companies being impersonated in these emails are from the tech or media and entertainment industries.
Okay, that makes sense. If you work in those industries, you're dealing with copyrighted material all the time.
Exactly.
So it's much more likely that someone in one of those fields might have that moment of, oh no, did I accidentally use that image?
Yeah.
So if you happen to work in those fields, you really got to be extra careful.
Yeah.
All right, so you get this email accusing you of copyright infringement. What's the next step? What happens next?
So typically they'll try to entice you into downloading a file,
Okay.
and it's a password-protected file, and they might say something like, this file contains the details of your infringement, or you need to download this to see the evidence,
Yeah.
something like
They
that.
make it sound official and scary.
Yeah.
It just adds to that panic feeling.
Exactly.
But of course, this file is not what it seems.
No, it's not.
Instead of infringement details, that file actually leads to a malicious download from platforms like Dropbox or Discord,
Mm-hmm.
and they use these legitimate platforms to avoid raising suspicion.
Exactly. It looks a little bit more trustworthy coming from a big name like that. But tucked away in that download is the real danger, the Rhadamanthys info stealer.
Okay, that sounds like something straight out of a spy movie.
Right.
What exactly is an info stealer?
So in a nutshell, it's a type of malware that's designed to steal information from your computer.
Oh, so passwords and financial data and...
Yeah, passwords, financial data, browsing history, you name it.
So basically anything valuable they can get their hands on.
Anything they can turn into a profit, really.
And Rhadamanthys, this is not just some random virus. This is serious stuff.
Yeah, this one's particularly nasty.
What makes it so dangerous? What sets it apart?
Well, for starters, it's not your average run-of-the-mill malware.
Oh?
This thing is sophisticated and, believe it or not, expensive.
Really?
It's actually sold on the dark web,
Wow.
and it's been linked to both cybercriminals and nation-state actors.
So this is the big leagues.
Yeah,
This is like the pros are using this.
definitely.
And to make matters worse, they're constantly updating it, right?
Yeah, they are.
So the newest version of Rhadamanthys uses something called OCR technology.
It's wild.
What is that?
So it's essentially a way for the malware to read text from images on your computer.
Oh, so it's not just grabbing passwords from your browser. It's actually looking at files and trying to understand the text in those files.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so what kind of information are they after with this OCR tech?
Well, it seems their main focus is financial gain.
Okay.
So this new version specifically targets Bitcoin wallet passphrases.
So they're going after crypto too,
Yeah, it's like they're combing through your digital life with a fine-tooth comb.
looking for anything they can exploit.
Exactly.
And on top of that, it's designed to be stealthy.
Yeah.
The thing is like a chameleon. It tries to blend in and avoid detection.
Yeah.
Hold on. How does malware even do that? How does it hide itself?
It's pretty clever.
Yeah.
So Rhadamanthys uses a rather unusual technique to bypass antivirus scans.
Okay.
Basically, it creates a larger, useless version of itself.
So it's padding its file size.
Yes, like padding it with junk data to make the file huge. And some antivirus programs actually skip scanning super large files to save processing power.
So it just slips through the cracks.
Yeah, it can slip through.
It's not foolproof, though, right?
Yeah.
Security researchers are always one step ahead, hopefully.
Yeah, they're always developing new ways to detect these threats.
So what can we, the everyday internet users, do to protect ourselves from falling into this trap?
Well, the first line of defense is always awareness.
Yeah.
Be wary of any email claiming copyright infringement, especially if it pressures you to download a file.
Don't let fear or guilt cloud your judgment.
Right.
It's like, don't feed the trolls,
Yeah.
but in this case, don't download from the trolls.
Exactly.
Easy to remember.
Right.
So take a moment to really look at the email.
Yeah.
Check the sender's address, look for typos and inconsistencies, anything that seems off.
Anything that seems a bit strange.
Yeah. Attackers often make small mistakes
They do.
that can give them away.
Little clues.
What if you're still not sure? Like, what if the email looks legit, but you're just not 100% convinced?
If you have any doubts at all, the best thing to do is contact the company directly.
Okay.
But don't use the contact information in the email. Go to their official website, find the contact information there. That way, you're talking to the real deal.
Verification is key.
Yes.
And of course, we can't forget the basics. Keep your antivirus software up to date.
Absolutely. That's so
Your
important.
digital bodyguard.
Yeah,
You want to make sure it's equipped to handle the latest threats.
for sure.
But what's fascinating to me is that this Copy Our Rhadamanthys campaign isn't just a one-off.
Right.
It's part of a bigger trend.
It is.
What trend are we seeing?
We're seeing attackers increasingly use psychological tactics and social engineering
Okay.
to exploit human vulnerabilities.
So it's not just about hacking computers anymore.
No, it's about hacking minds.
That's kind of unsettling.
It is.
They're preying on our fears, our guilt,
Our desire to help.
our desire to help.
Mm.
It's almost more insidious than brute force technical attacks.
Yeah, because technology can be patched, updated, strengthened, but human nature,
You can't download a software update for your brain.
you can't.
So we need to be just as savvy about human behavior as we are about technology.
Yes, exactly.
We need a whole new skill set for this digital age.
We do.
What are the stakes here?
They are hot.
What's the worst case scenario if we fall for these tactics?
We're talking about the potential loss of sensitive information, financial assets, even national security.
Okay.
The damage can be significant both on an individual level and a societal level.
Can't you want to unplug from the internet entirely? Go off the grid live in a cabin in the woods.
I understand that feeling.
But we can't escape.
We can't.
We rely on technology too much.
Yeah.
That reliance isn't going away.
Yep.
So we have to face this head on, but knowledge is power.
It is.
And that's what this deep dive is all about, giving you the information you need to protect yourself. We've seen how this Copyright Rhadamanthys campaign uses guilt and fear to exploit our vulnerabilities. And it highlights a really crucial point. Cybersecurity isn't just about firewalls and antivirus software.
Yeah.
It's also about understanding human behavior,
Yeah.
understanding how we can be manipulated.
And building up our resilience to these tactics.
So it's a two-pronged approach,
Yes.
tech and psychology.
Exactly.
We need to be as strong mentally as our digital defenses are.
I love that.
Which brings us to a pretty important question for you, our listener.
Okay.
What other ways do you think attackers might try to exploit our emotions or our trust in the future?
It's a great question. And honestly, it's kind of a scary question.
Yeah.
It's $1 million question. We've seen them use guilt. What about fear?
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe even appealing to our better nature, like our desire to help others.
It's almost scary to think about the possibilities.
It is.
But we have to think about them.
We do.
We have to anticipate what might be coming next.
So we're not caught off guard. It's a world where we need to stay informed and be ready to adapt.
So where can our listeners go to stay up to date on all this cybersecurity stuff?
That's a great question.
Because let's be real, most of us are not cybersecurity experts.
You absolutely do not need to be an expert to be informed.
Okay, that's good.
There are some fantastic resources out there that are accessible to everyone.
Like what?
Organizations like Checkpoint Research, who we've been talking about today,
Yeah.
they regularly publish reports and analyses on the latest threats.
And those aren't just like dry technical documents,
I
right?
got it all.
Because I've seen some of those, and they're not exactly light reading.
They're not always the most exciting thing to read, but
Yeah.
they do often present the information in a way that's pretty easy to understand,
Okay.
even if you don't have a tech background.
So they know that cybersecurity affects everyone.
They do.
So they're trying to make that information accessible.
Exactly.
So it's not just about having the latest software, it's about having the latest knowledge, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Think of it like staying informed about cybersecurity is as important as keeping your antivirus software up to date.
That's a great way to put it.
It's all essential for protecting yourself in this digital age.
I agree.
And it's not just reports, right?
Mhm.
There are other ways to stay informed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like what?
Podcasts, webinars, online courses. You can find something that fits your learning style and your level of interest.
Yeah, the internet's great for that.
It is,
You can find information on pretty much anything.
for sure.
So it's like anything else, the more you learn, the more confident you become.
Definitely. And in this case, that confidence can help you be a harder target for cybercriminals.
So when you're aware of the risks and you know what to look out for, you're less likely to panic and make a bad decision.
Yeah, you're more likely to stay calm, think critically, and take the right steps to protect yourself.
So cybersecurity is not just a one-time fix.
It's not.
It's an ongoing process.
It is.
The bad guys are always coming up with new tricks, so we need to stay vigilant and be ready to adapt.
Yeah.
So keep learning, keep questioning, and keep those cyber senses sharp.
Don't let your guard down.
Well said. And if this deep dive has sparked your interest in cybersecurity, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
There's a whole world of information out there.
Well, to explore.
Who knows? Maybe you'll even become the next cybersecurity expert.
It could happen.
From accidentally using a copyrighted image to becoming a cybersecurity guru.
That would be a cool story.
The internet is full of surprises.
It is.
But for now, stay safe out there, everyone.
Yes, be careful.
And remember, knowledge is your best defense.